Notice anything different? I'm not vlogging from my car. Yeah, that's odd, isn't it? That's extremely odd. I figured, you know what? I want to share something with you, something that's been a passion of mine since I was a kid, and that's horror films. Yeah, I'm going to give you my top 5 of horror films, of my top 5. I would definitely like to know your top 5 as well. So just leave that down in the comments section down below. It could be anything you want. That's the beauty of it. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start off without the top 5 that's in this list. I'm going to start off with the one that's been around the longest out of my top 5. And that's Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Now, hold on. If you're a huge fan of that film, you're probably thinking, that's your 5th one? Why? Why is it so low? Look, trust me, this isn't easy. It really isn't easy. You do it. That's why I'm asking you to leave it down in that comment section down below, or you make a video about your top 5. But yes, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, the original Psycho. Yeah, it was a tough one. Come on. The originality of the film, the scoring alone, the cinematography, the acting, all of that is just, yeah, it's original, folks, not a remake, an original. You gotta appreciate that. You have to, because I know that this day and age, it's not about originality. It's about remakes and throwing in fancy, CGIs and all the other stuff. But I love and appreciate the originality. Just like I love watching all these YouTubers out there. He's producing great original content. Get what I mean? You out there that's doing it just like I am, doing it your way, the original way, not doing what somebody else is doing. So anyways, back to this list. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. Number 4, Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs, 1990, is when I went to see it in the movie theaters, and that was the last time that a horror movie scared me. Going into the theater and actually scared me. So here I am, 40-something, and I was 20 years old then, and and come on, Anthony Hopkins. I can remember, and still to this day, there are people that are petrified to watch him in that film. There's another original film. Now, granted, Alfred Hitchcock, Silence of the Lambs, and another film that I'm about ready to mention here, and it's in my number 3 spot, and that would be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, there's another original film, an independent film, a low-budget film that was actually originally produced by basically a mafia company that produced X-rated films. So if you could find a poster print with the rated X on there, you've got yourself a jewel there, that's for sure. But yes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, unfortunately, who we just recently lost, Gunnar Hansen, the original Leatherface. The cast and crew, they obviously went through hell when it came to making that film. But as a kid, the reason why I was so fascinated about it was a combination of 2 things. I remember going to the video stores, and you couldn't get them there because it was supposedly banned in so many countries. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, directed by Tobe Hooper. In 1974, he had us all fooled. Well, the majority of us fooled, because it was listed as, basically, it was like a true story, because what they did was real, but it wasn't, it was just it didn't, I'm twisting my words up here. Let's put it this way, to this day, there are people that swear with the scene where, Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface, when he puts the girl up on the meat hook, to this day, people really think that was real, that they could see the meat hook go into her. Come on, if you watch the film carefully, you could tell, okay, here's a Coke can, 12 ounces of Coke. There wasn't even that much fake blood being used in that film. So, yes, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my number 3. Now, when I said, you notice some similarity there, you've got Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and Leatherface. The research, what those 3 films were actually inspired by, right? Come on, I know you know this. Ed Gein. That's right, Ed Gein. This is a real sicko that was in a little small farm town in Wisconsin. In fact, you can watch the extras on, like, say, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where Tobe Hooper talks about how his relatives from Texas, or Wisconsin, I'm sorry, would talk about basically Ed Gein. But at Silence of the Lamb, yes. The individual that, wants you to put the lotion in the basket. The writers were inspired by Ed Gein on this film. And, of course, Psycho was inspired about the relationship between the boy and its mother. All inspired by Ed Gein. So anyways, that's just a little bit of, history facts there for you on those 3 films. So number 2. Well, this is tough. Number 2, oh boy. Don't shout at me for making this number 2, because this movie probably scared more people than any other film in the horror history of all horror films. And that would be, of course, even terrifies me to mention this to you. Oh, God. Yeah, Redneck Zombies. No, that's actually a comedy. Number 2, The Exorcist. Yeah, The Exorcist. This is obviously a Blu-ray copy. I highly recommend you get a copy of your own, if you haven't yet. The extras in that alone is probably more fascinating than the film. I'm going to be repeating myself over and over again here about the originality, the direction, the writing alone, the book alone, horrified the hell out of people. The Linda Blair practically, I don't want to get it mixed up here because of all the things that that little girl had to go through alone. From, just watch the extras, you know what I'm talking about. The makeup in that film, come on. The makeup with the lighting and the cinematography. You're hearing me say this stuff a lot, right? It's because it's what's so important. I mean, you watch these individuals that give us pointers on how to do these vlogs properly. Well, there you go. Lighting, cinematography, and audio obviously is a huge thing, which that's going to be something I'm going to be purchasing down the road, as well as a new microphone for my Canon, Rebel T5i. Anyways, back to The Exorcist. When I was a kid, my mother had seen this film in the movie theaters. Scared her shitless. I mean, she won't see that film today. So, here comes The Exorcist on HBO. I begged for her to let me see this film. She flat out told me, look, no, you're not going to watch it. It's going to scare the hell out of you. So I convinced her enough to let me watch it. She flat out said, look, if you watch this, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to sleep with me. Guess what? 2 weeks I slept with her. No other horror film has done that to me. So you're probably wondering why that's number 2 and why it's not number 1. Well, the reason why it's not number 1 is because I've kind of felt like I've had a personal relationship with my number 1 horror film. Why is that, you say? Well, when I used to have the bar downstairs, literally, I still have him floating around somewhere. But I had this guy named Michael who was my bouncer in that bar. Yeah, Michael. John Carpenter's Halloween. Duh. Love the film, jealous, everything about that film I'm jealous. Just because if I was ever to be a director, a writer, a producer, or even a cast, I wouldn't want to be any of those things in any other film. I just would have loved to have been a part of that film. I mean, it was obviously so magical. Everybody was so involved, and they knocked that low-budget independent film right out of the ballpark. I mean, it was, as they say for a baseball pitcher, it was a perfect game. That's how perfect this game was. When you think of Halloween, what do you think of? Soundtrack, cinematography, the lighting, Michael Myers, the original Michael Myers mask, which Tommy Lee Wallace, the editor, he was also responsible for the props in this film. Like I said, he was the editor. He is the guy that was responsible of getting that Captain Kirk mask, painted it, cut the eyes out, cut the sideburns off. He is the one that's responsible for giving us that gorgeous piece of artwork. The William Shatner's, a.k.a. Captain Kirk mask. No other Halloween has been able to touch that mask. They haven't came close. I don't care what you say. If you think you have a decent one from Halloween 4 or 5, yeah, whatever. The original mask that was also basically shot in the second Halloween. Granted, it was aged, and it was also because of Dick Warlock's facial features were different than, well, the individual who just made Michael Myers look gorgeous. Well, yes, they were all responsible, but Nick Castle, come on. No one's been able to pull off Michael Myers like Nick Castle. Watch the film, you know what I'm talking about. Compare him to the other ones. Dick Warlock, love him to death. The respect that he gets from all horror fans, and just the fact that he obviously just loved playing that character, and how he's so respected to the horror fans and the horror, what do you call them? The conventions. I've never been to one. Love to go to one. But yeah, love the guy. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. So I'm gonna shut up. You give me your list of your top 5 horror films, and if you guys enjoyed this, maybe I could share some more films that I enjoy other than horror. And I don't know, maybe we'll start something here. I can get into this, that's for sure. I could talk hours just alone about Halloween, about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, about The Exorcist, about Silence of the Lambs, and of course, Psycho. Of course, that wasn't the right order, right? No, it wasn't. Doesn't matter. You heard my list. You've seen it. I want to see yours. So, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit that subscribe button down below. Thumbs up makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And, of course, comment and share. And I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.